Hey everybody, how's it going? Pastor Danny here. Just wanted to say hello and good morning. We are here in my kitchen, Journey Kids Live at home. I just want to welcome you into my home just to see what's going on. How's it going? You want to put your comments on? I can see those just to the left here. We're going to do a story. I got a really cool experiment that I want to do with you. So it's not necessarily a craft, but we have a really fun experiment that we're going to try, and I just can't wait to get to it. I hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys had a great Easter. If you found a lot of eggs, if you got a lot of candy or special toy, go ahead and comment on there on the thread here, and we'd love to hear about your story and connect with you in that way. And then following this Journey Kids from Home, uh, we will be doing a Zoom call, which, if you don't know what that is, it's where we get together and we can all see each other's faces and talk with each other and see how each other are doing. And that's for kids and teachers alike. So we'd love to have you join us directly after this time that we have together on our Facebook Live event. Even though you might see the Zoom link say 11, if we get done before that, that's okay. We're just going to start it, a couple minutes after this lesson. So, well, let's get into it. I had a good Easter. Me and Brittany and Beckett, who I was going to have Beckett be my helper, but he's taking a break already. He's taking a nap. His first job, and he's taking a nap on the job. So what are you going to do? But we had a great Easter. We had some toys for him. We ate barbecue. It was really really good. So I hope you guys had a great Easter as well. So, well, let's get into our story here. So we are going to start kind of where we left off last week. So last week we talked about how Jesus had died. Remember, he was hurt, and then he ended up dying. And then what was then? He was put into a tomb. He was put into a tomb, but we know that he did not stay there, right? Was he there? No. Because why? Because Jesus is alive. Remember what we were saying last week? Our bottom line from last week is Jesus is alive. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is Jesus is alive and what all the great things that he did after he was resurrected. You guys remember that? I'm trying to see this too. So yeah, it's good. So remember, the stone was rolled away and Jesus came out, and he went and he met a lot of people, and those ladies that came and were there to just visit him. Remember, he was there, but he wasn't there. They were there, but he wasn't there. And the angel came down and talked to him. And it's just it's an incredible story, and we're just so excited to be a part of it as Christians, because Jesus is alive. It's amazing. So let's talk about what happened after that. All right. So Jesus had a lot of friends. Remember, he had a lot of friends before he died. He had met a lot of people and had a lot of friends. So what he did after he left the tomb was he then started visiting all these friends. And I want to talk about one instance that he visited his friends that is very exciting to me. And if you hear a little Beckett in the background, just know he's okay. He's fighting his nap. I'm sure you guys don't know anything about that, huh? So anyway, so let's get back to our story. Our story goes like this. So Jesus' friends, the disciples, remember we talked about the disciples last month when we talked about follow the leader, right? So we talked about the disciples and all the different disciples, and there were 12 of them. So the disciples, Peter included in the disciples, they were out fishing, right? And this is one of my favorite stories in the whole Bible, even though it's kind of simple. I think that's why I kind of like it. But so they're out fishing, and they're not catching anything at all. Right? They're not catching anything. But then all of a sudden, they see this man on the shore, and this man says, "Hey, friends, have you caught anything?" And they're like, "No, we haven't caught any fish. We've been fishing all night. We caught nothing." And he says, "Well, throw your nets on the other side and see if you can catch anything." And they did, and they pulled up all these fish. It was so heavy, but the net didn't rip. They thought it was going to rip. It was so heavy, but it didn't. So then they go, "Oh man, that must be Jesus." So they all come, this is them, and they're like, "Oh, there's Jesus." So they all leave their ship after they are at their fishing. They all leave their ship and they meet Jesus on the shore. And so Jesus has already prepared this fire and some places to sit for them after they worked all night. And so what he did was he actually was like, hey, let's grab some of those fish and let's have breakfast together. So this is Jesus and all his disciples sitting, having breakfast together. Well, he's sitting while they're standing, but they're all hanging out, they're having breakfast and enjoying themselves. And you say, well, what's the point of this story? Well, one of the cool things about Jesus is not only our Savior, but as we've learned in the past, he wants to be our friend forever. And this is what Jesus was important. This was what was important to Jesus, was being with his friends at this moment. This was one of the last times that Jesus was going to be on the earth for a long, long time. This was one of the last times that he was going to be able to see his friends. And so what he wanted to do was he wanted to take time and enjoy just being together, the simple things like having breakfast together. Did you guys have breakfast with your family today? It's a great thing to do, to have breakfast with your family, to take those times of just sitting together and enjoying each other's company. So I encourage you, the next time your mom or dad or brother or sister want to sit down and have breakfast with you, sit down, just like Jesus sat down with his friends. And another thing that this helped prove to his friends was that Jesus is still alive and still the Savior and still their friend. So we're just so excited to know that this is the kind of relationship that Jesus has with all of us, where he wants to be our friend forever. And we know that even though he died, remember, he was put in his tomb and he died, but he didn't stay there because Jesus is alive. That stone was rolled away and he came out and he visited all of his friends. And they were fishing. Remember when I was talking about that story? They were fishing, but then when they saw him, they all rushed to the shore to have breakfast. And so I can't wait till the time I get to meet Jesus face to face and have breakfast with him too. And I'm sure you guys are excited for that as well. Eggs and cinnamon rolls. Looks like the Sherbanikos had eggs and cinnamon rolls. That's good. Hey, Miss Rachel, how are you doing? And so what we learned today is that Jesus, even though Easter's over and we talked about how Jesus was alive, we need to remember that he is still alive. He's not just alive on Easter. He's alive all of our life. For as long as you're alive, he is alive in your heart. So when you accept him in your heart, he is there to stay. And we're just so happy that he not only wants to be our Savior, but he wants to be our friend as well. So if Jesus is your friend, raise your hand. Jesus is your friend, give me a thumbs up. All right, so that's our story for today. So now I want to get to our exciting experiment. So you're going to see me moving around a little bit. That's okay. I'm not going to go anywhere. You just might see me blurring in and out of the screen real quick. So here we go. I'm going to set it up. If I could have my helper, Miss Brittany, come. We are actually going to, here, so you can see my face. We are going to be setting up our tinfoil. I'm going to put the screen down in just a second. Hey, the lovely Miss Brittany, huh? You probably know her from the stage, when she's singing worship and stuff. You guys have seen her do that. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to pivot down, so you're not going to see our faces anymore, but you're going to see all the supplies that we need, okay? So here we go. We're going down to the supplies. Boom, just like that. So what we have is we have a baking pan right here. We have tin foil, all right? We're going to take these things out. We have a straw. We have a cup that's going to have some water in it. We have a Sharpie, or any kind of marker or pen will work for this part. And then we needed these dry erase markers. So we have some dry erase markers. So what we're going to do is on the Sharpie, or pen or marker, whichever, just as long as it's not a dry erase, we're going to draw a line on both ends of our tin foil. Beckett says hi, everybody. And we're going to draw a line on this end here. All right. And And this is going to be our start and our finish lines, okay? Because we're going to do kind of a race. All right, I tried this yesterday and it worked. So we're going to, and if you hear crinkling and it's loud, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get my aluminum foil prepared. So you're going to line the inside of the baking sheet with aluminum foil. And if you don't have a baking sheet, that's okay. You can just fold your aluminum foil edges like this to make sure you make a wall, because we're going to pour water in it and you don't want the water to get out, okay? All right, so we're going to put this down. And so, all right, what color do you want?
I like red.
You want red? All right, so this is going to be our starting line over here. All right, so you can do it right beside your starting line. It doesn't have to be on the other side because I kind of made that line too close, so we don't have a lot of room. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw. I'm going to get on this side so I can't draw upside down. So I'm going to draw a little head here. And we're going to fill it in. And we're going to draw a little body and an arm and an arm and an arm and an arm.
A leg?
Or legs. Yeah, there's only 2 arms and then there's 2 legs. See, this is why she comes to help me, because she knows these things. All right, now, Ms. Brittany, if you could draw another person, it doesn't have to be there, but somewhere over there is fine. All right? And yes, your person needs to have 4 arms as well.
Mm-hmm. Do my best.
Okay, so this is the first part of the experiment. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to pour water right on these here. All right? And as you'll notice, like with Miss Brittany's here, I might need a little more water. Oh, here's some. You notice hers is kind of floating there. Well, I just ripped my legs off. That's okay. You might have to try this a couple of times. Well, yours is definitely better than mine, huh?
Does that mean I automatically win?
Well, you're gonna win the race for sure.
Great.
Because mine didn't. Mine didn't raise. So what happens is when you pour the water, and I don't know if I just did it too long. What you can do is it'll float, and you can see your person float. Actually, it even looks like you have a little face on yours the way that it ripped off. So you can take your straw then, and you can go, and you can race around with your straw. There. See, the good news is I have multiple body parts.
Yeah.
So I can win several different ways.
He's wounded in battle.
Yeah, wounded bad. I'm in all sorts of pain here. But you see how it can happen. So you might have to draw it a couple times. You just have to pour the water out and dry off your mat and then retry. That's okay, because like you saw, like mine didn't work that well either, but Brittany's did. So you can try a couple different times, and then you can have fun with it the whole time. You can just keep racing back and forth, or you can say who can get closest to the corner without hitting it. Something like that. Again, the black part is over there, so that means I won.
Okay. I don't think so. I think your man actually has to survive the flood.
That's just extra. That's just extra. But, so I was really excited about this experiment because, I don't know, it's just a little different. I didn't know that if you use a dry erase marker, that water would lift it off of the aluminum foil and make it go. So 2 things to remember. That is if it didn't work that well, or if it stuck kind of like that one stuck, you can try again to draw, but also make sure your aluminum foil is shiny side down. That makes it a little easier. I can't remember if I said that at the beginning or not. So if it didn't work that well the first time, again, it's okay. No reason to be upset. You can just redo it. It's just a little water that you're wasting. You can pour it down the drain, dry it off, and then try to draw your person on there again, and try it on the not shiny part. All right. I know they're both kind of shiny, but there is a part that is more shiny. So put the more shiny part down. And that is our experiment that we had. So, I mean, it worked 50%. So that's good, right? It's almost passing, right?
I passed. You did.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. She did pass. I guess I just didn't. But hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us today in our kitchen. We love you. Can't wait to see you on this call. And don't forget, the most important thing about today is that Jesus is still alive, and he wants to be your friend forever. Right, Miss Brittany? Is Jesus still alive?
Jesus is still alive.
And whose friend does he want to be?
Mine.
Yeah.
And yours.
And mine. And yours. Yours. All right, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'll be posting the Zoom link in the Facebook comments. So if you want to join on and hang out with us, it's going to be in the Facebook comments in just a second.